want to do it. I want to do it. No, I want to do it. Oh, I want to do it. Hello, and welcome to the Human Podcast, where human issues are talked about with purpose. Now, here are your hosts, Wes and Ryan. That's really good. Thank you. When do they start talking?
And we're live.
We are alive.
We're barely alive. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
When I look that way, I see life flashing before my eyes.
Hold on to your chair.
Just hold on.
Just let me hold on.
Oh.
So, why are we in the mountains, precariously perched on a rotten piece of wood and a couple of balanced rocks?
Because someone had an idea that we were going to take Man vs. Wild National Geographic meets psychology and make a podcast, vidcast out of it.
Beautiful idea.
It is. It's actually stunning out here. Like,
Gosh.
in all honesty, I know we're sitting on the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
But the Mount Shasta behind us, like this boulder thing.
Castle Crags right there.
Yeah.
There, and then we got some crags on the other side.
4 hours to get here, but it was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carrying some light gear.
I left before the sun came up this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Your text to me was, the stars are out. It's not going to rain.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's dark outside.
So I would be closer to you, but there's really no way to do it without going to somewhere safe, like on the trail or something.
Yeah, which we can't do that. If someone walks by, we don't want to interrupt their day.
No, they're having a beautiful walk.
Yeah.
Walk in the woods, which that's this right here. So these are, you see, we're twins today.
We're twinning it up. Look at this.
This is in support of my brother, believe it or not, and I'm going to get to the story because I think it would be really good for us to talk about this. We haven't talked about veterans yet.
No, and we're doing something crazy, and
this is almost life-threatening.
Almost.
I would not compare it to what they do,
not.
but this is the best way that we can come up with to say, look, we're doing something life-threatening to let you know about these guys that put their lives on the line for us every day. So my brother is a veteran, Afghanistan. And he started riding his bike 22 miles every day. And why 22 miles? Because 22 veterans commit suicide in the United States every day.
Wow.
Every day.
That's not a fun number that I want to talk about. That's crazy.
That's men who went and fought for our freedom.
Yeah.
Came back and did not have the support to be able to get out whatever was on inside them. Yeah. So I'd like to get a little personal with my brother here. Hopefully he doesn't mind. I'm not going to release as many details, so don't ask, podcast world. But the reason why is my brother and I did this shirt, and it's him. This is his art. He drew this, and he's at art school right now. And really what we're after is the brand that he started is called Kili, and it's short for Kilimanjaro. That's important because when he came back, it was really hard for him to integrate back into society. You know, he had been blown up, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times or something like that in his, in the vehicles over there. And each time was, it was a physical marker, a remembrance of pain.
Yeah.
I mean, in the psychology world,
it's a trigger.
All over that, right?
Yeah,
we know all about that stuff, right? So, but some of the things that he had to do, it was hard for him to forgive himself. It's just really difficult. And this is all veterans when they come back, if they saw any kind of combat whatsoever, even just being in a high stress situation, not in combat for a year's length of time or something like that, it really causes this unbelievable amount of internal turmoil, right?
Yeah, I can
so
imagine.
He comes back, and I remember crying, going, my brother didn't come back, and I was really upset about it. I am, obviously. And I thought, we need to go and climb Mount Kilimanjaro together and just talk, just like we do on our podcast.
Yeah.
Just have a conversation, right? And just say, what's going on with you? And not talk about what happened over there, not talk about what's going on over here, just what's going on inside. What are you feeling about this? What are you feeling about that? And so I started writing a book called, what's the book called? The Hunt for Kilimanjaro. And it's really chronicling my outdoors life. And he is part of that, obviously, and how that is an allegory for life and how we grow and we heal.
Yeah.
And so through that, we started this company called Kili, and the point of it is healing the human spirit. Specifically, you wear something from Kili, you are now a part of Team Kili, and you're wearing something that represents what we're talking about right now, and that is there's human behind every one of those veterans. And anybody who's gone through anything stressful, I mean, the kids that we deal with, they go through stuff that are going to be this same kind of triggers for the rest of their life as well. I mean, unless they can get through it and get over it.
And you heal it.
Right. So whoever it is that's going through these triggers, that's what Keely represents. It represents this mountain that you conquer, and in the process, you have conversations and you talk, and you're a part of nature. And here's the hiker. I'm going to say that's my brother. And here's the mountain. This is the tree we call the General. And we have a mountain down in Idlewild that we climb a lot, Devil Slide Trail, and there's a tree there called the General, and it's been there over 100 years, and that's our tree.
That's amazing.
So.
Well, and I think it gives your brother purpose, right? Like gives him something to work for past just what he was. Like
and he had some support too. My father went back to school to be a psychologist, right? He's got his master's degree, so they really helped out with a lot of stuff. They got him a service dog, which was spectacular for him to be able to talk to this animal, and that animal listens. And Duke, he takes everywhere. He met this amazing woman who married him, faults and all. And through that, there's been like healing after healing. I got to marry them. That was so cool.
Yeah.
That was a really neat thing for me. But the reason why I bring it up is because there's still a lot for him to go through. He still suffers from epilepsy. He still has some of these things that I think are emotional triggers, based on what happened with the physical damage to the brain itself.
Oh, I'm sure. And each time, he wasn't just one time, right? And I know, obviously, some more intimate details. Yeah. And so I can say, I mean, what he did for our country is phenomenal. Like what he's done for us to have the ability to do this podcast. And that was something, we were hiking up here and we were talking about what are we going to talk about today?
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys don't know, like we don't script these, we don't plan. We kind of say, this is the topic, let's go with it. This is the story, let's go with it.
Yeah.
And we use the word freedom.
Yeah.
And, we obviously plan to have the T-shirts for the hike because it's like 30 degrees right now. And this is that wool stuff, right?
Merino wool. This is the top of the top of the top. You can't get a quality merino wool shirt for less than $80.
Yeah.
Unless it's used on sale, clearance, something like that. Yeah.
Right. We need to make gloves because my hands are freezing. I'm not gonna put them inside my shirt.
That's the next one. I've got some other merino wool on here.
Yeah. Keep your clothes on.
I got a base layer under here.
So, but we're just talking about the word freedom and the opportunity that we have in the United States to go to do a hike, right? Sounds so simple, right?
Yeah.
But we're bringing the studio out into nature. Like to have that ability, it's rare.
And not have somebody shut us down, right? I mean, what we're talking about may not be PC sometimes.
Yeah.
And not have somebody say, no, you can't say that.
Exactly. And that's freedom.
That's right.
And individuals like your brother and the thousands of vets that are out there are giving us that opportunity. And
That's right.
I've always had a special place in my heart for military. I have a truck, right? It's a 74 International truck, and it's totally dedicated to military.
Nice.
It's green color. It's the Army paint. It's rhino lined. It's actually a different thing. It's what the military use, but it's cool, right? And I've put it in parades and done different things like that. But I just have a special place for people who give that opportunity. And some of them, they do it to pay for college, whatever. But regardless, they go out there and they serve.
They serve.
And in times of war, they serve.
Yeah.
And they give up. I mean, your brother really gave up himself in protecting.
He did.
And so many others do that same thing.
And he's on his way back, and others will be too, because if you have the support system, if you have the people that can talk to you, and it's just about having the conversation, to be honest with you.
And, I think it's interesting is that when we fought World War I and World War II, they were heroes when they came home.
That's right.
Right? They came home to fanfare and craziness, not just like a small sector. Yeah. It was cities. Like cities celebrated their men coming home, the boys coming home. There's movies about the boys coming home.
That's right.
All these things. Now, these guys are almost villainized, right? Ever since, I would probably say since the Korean War. It's been like
Vietnam,
Vietnam, all that stuff. Sorry, I guess not the Korean War, sorry. But the Vietnam War. The whole thing of just, that concept of being
baby killers.
Yeah, exactly.
And
they're
junk.
And you're going over there killing for no reason, and you're doing these things, and we're just police. And I'm like, maybe the government is, but these guys,
no, they have a reason.
They have a reason, and they're But I think that we've deheroized them. Is that a word? Like, I mean,
it is now because honestly, I completely agree. I think that where have all the heroes gone? Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, they're still there.
They're still there. The same guys that came back here. I consider my brother a hero.
Oh, definitely.
My kids think of him as their hero. So I would hope that every other veteran out there, that their family treats them the same way.
And I don't think they do.
I don't think they
that's
do
my
either.
point.
No.
And I
Which
think
is why we have 22 committing suicide every day in the United States.
Every day. That's
you brought up a statistic in another show about men, adult men, and the increase 50% or something like that last year.
2013, the age group of 35 to 50-year-old males was a 50% increase in suicides last year.
Well, certainly some of that has to do with veterans.
I would assume, because that's about the age that these guys are coming back
right.
and doing stuff. So I'm sure that plays into it. And this is the thing, though, with statistics, right? 25 million youth are abused, neglected, whatever, every year. 22 individuals are taking their lives that were in the military. We did just a show right before this, right? About talking about, great, we have all this information. What do we do with it, right? Why? Why? What's the why?
Right.
And what's the why to this? And I'm looking at it saying, do we really treat these guys as heroes, and do they come back in arms of love, or do they come back in arms of like, oh yeah, you went and did that, great, thanks for da-da-da, you support Bush, or you support Clinton, or you Reagan, or this or that, or Obama, or whatever. And but your brother has nothing to do with Obama or Reagan or Clinton, and none of these guys do.
No.
They signed up to protect their country.
Yep.
Their commander-in-chief said, this is where you're going to do it. They go do it. Right or wrong, I don't care, right?
Right. Regardless of what the purpose of that is, if you don't believe in that, then don't sign up. But I didn't serve.
Yeah.
No particular reason other than I always thought I had a problem with authority and I wouldn't be able to hang with it. That was like the only reason.
I'll be honest. I think I would protect my family at any given cost.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just don't have it in me to be the guy that does that, I guess.
I got you.
So, I mean, that's just honest, for me.
Yeah, no, and everybody's got their own thing, and not everybody needs to, and you shouldn't feel shame for not serving.
No, absolutely
not. To me, these guys that are willing to do this and have the capacity, and ladies, I'm sorry, women, I didn't mean to say that you didn't. I mean, there's some amazing women that served with him. I mean, that
would kick your butt.
I honestly, if I were a woman, I wouldn't want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, why, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but they do, and they're amazing, and so it's certainly not just men. All veterans is what I'm referring to here. But, these folks, they go over there and they commit their lives to this. So is it, movies seem to still make them heroes, right? Villainized heroes?
But they're in the past.
It's all about
I was
past.
just thinking
it's all about coming back.
I was just thinking of Captain America, right?
Captain America, that's a good one.
Captain America is a great movie. It's a great show. And here's this, weak little boy who wants to be in the military, right?
Yeah.
And he does everything he can to serve his country.
Yeah, they wouldn't take him.
And then, of course, he becomes Captain America, he becomes a hero, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not saying that we're not taking these individuals as a whole. I'm just saying culturally, and treating them like a hero. I'm just saying culturally, the fanfare of them coming home has dissipated.
It's waned,
sure. And you see, I mean, something that I do personally is every time I see a vet, right, and they're in their gear, they're whatever,
sure.
I don't know all the details, but if they're wearing their uniforms, I always try, if it's appropriate, to go up and thank them.
Yep.
And it's thrown some of them off.
Yep.
I'll just walk up and I just say thank you, and they're like, for what? And I'm like, for what you do. Because that's how I feel.
Sure.
And I've had some great conversations with them. And, I've had, I had a friend who works with PSD, with veterans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me that if you meet a vet and you see him out there and you say that, or they don't ask him how many people did you kill and what did you do?
Man.
But people go that way.
They do.
But what they like to talk about is, how was the weather over there?
Yeah.
And was the food good? And things like that. Just normal, you found out a friend went to France, right?
Yeah.
What would you ask them?
Right.
Don't ask about the military side, but ask about the journey of what they went through.
Yeah.
That was just something that she told me. And so I kind of try to do that. But I think that culturally, the word freedom has just completely been taken for granted. I had somebody just the other day who was telling me 7 billion people on the planet, right?
Right.
There's 600 million or something like that in the United States.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there, right? So just think of that.
Okay.
Your odds of being born in the United States, just mathematically, your odds are incredibly low.
Okay.
Right? You're more likely to be born in some African village in the middle of nowhere.
Or India.
Or
China.
Or
probably.
China, right?
Yeah.
Than the United States.
Yeah.
And here we are, you and I at least, born in the United States.
Yep.
This is where we've been.
I have a birth
homeland.
certificate to prove it. That's not directed towards anyone. I was not born in Hawaii. No, I was born in L.A., but I did grow up in Hawaii.
Nice one. Anyway, I just saw, totally off topic, Between Two Ferns.
Oh, Between Two Ferns. I can't tell if I like that show or not.
I don't know. I love him as an actor.
He's
I think
funny.
He's funny, but
yeah.
Anyway, I digress. My point is that I think that this country right now, in today's climate, takes the word freedom for granted. And we moan and complain about, we don't have this and we don't have that and we don't have this. We were talking on the way up about clothes and like, I don't know why we were talking about it, but we were talking about power bills and washing clothes and, and how your kids, like, you know, they're throwing up, doing their thing because they're that age and whatever, and you're washing all the time.
Over and over.
And then you were like, but they'll get older. And I'm like, yeah, but then the kids' clothes get bigger.
They get bigger.
And so you're just washing less clothes the same amount of time. So you're actually washing more, you know, using more water. And then I just said, you know what? What happened to the day where you had 3 outfits?
Right.
You know? And then you were like,
well, one on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
One was Sunday. 2 is for the rest of the week.
But it's this concept of, you know, that's where we started, right?
Sure.
And now we're in this point where it's like, well, I only have 9 pairs of jeans.
Right.
Only. You know? Like and I'm not saying there's other countries. I'm just saying, like, just think about it. Like your odds of being born, 600 million, whatever it is. Natalie will put the right number. 600 million to 7 billion. Like that. What is that? Like a 0.1%? I mean,
I'm not going to try.
I don't know. It's something small. Like you have the smallest percentage of
well,
chance.
700 million and 7 billion would be 10%. Right?
Yeah, so it's 0.96.
No, it would be 1%.
Yeah, I don't know.
It would be 1%, so it would be less than 1%.
Yeah, so it's
a statistical improbability that you would be born
in freedom, existing freedom. So no matter how bad it is, we exist in this freedom, and these men and women are protecting it.
Right.
And that to me is something. Why are we having 22 veterans? I mean, you look at the World War II and, the Vietnam War, all that stuff. I don't think it was as big. I mean, it was a big problem. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was as big. Maybe we just didn't know.
Maybe we didn't know about it. I don't know. Maybe there was a better environment for it coming home. I know that more than half of the guys that go over that are married, the women divorce them while they're over there. And they send them videos of them cheating on them with somebody else.
No.
I'm not kidding you.
To any woman who does that, there's a special place in it.
You need something, man. I don't know. That is so horrible.
That's sick.
Isn't it?
That's sick.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, and again, I thought you were going to go the other way, where they divorce when they get back, because I know a lot of these men become a lot more violent, a lot more aggressive.
Sure.
And they, have all the stress and anxiety and fears.
And they don't have the tools.
They don't have the tools, and they become less intimate. All these different things. I've heard all of that, but I didn't know it was the other way. That's
Yeah, it's pretty shocking.
So how do we shine light on this? How do we make, going back to my point, like maybe the why is the environment they're coming home to. I have to say that's got to be a level of it. I don't think our youth respect authority at all. We talked about this before in an episode that we didn't launch, so we have to talk about it, right?
That's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother story. But about authority and cops, right?
Right.
And I get it. Cops are shooting people. That's not good, but this one video we talked about was this guy who was in a car, and the police officer pulled him over.
Yep.
And the driver gave car registration and insurance and all that stuff, and the ID. And the cop said, "I need the passengers as well because they're over 18." I just, I think that's pretty standard.
That is standard, right? They could have an outstanding warrant or whatever. Sure, absolutely.
The guy refused to do it.
Right.
Long story short, it escalates to a point where he's refusing to do it. He never got belligerent or crazy,
right?
But he did get a little sarcastic and a little bit disrespectful.
Sure.
And the cop takes one of those glass shatter things, right? And shatters the passenger window and pulls the guy out and takes his wallet out. Little extreme, right? But we talked about it on the respect issue. We talked about respect and these people not, the youth aren't respecting authority to some degree, and then the authority don't respect the authority they have, so thus the youth don't respect them. So it's a circle,
It's a circle. It's a vicious circle. And really what it boils down to is it doesn't matter. The cop was wrong, the cop was right. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is he is the authority
in that situation.
There was a great video. Did you see this video of Chris Rock? And this was back during, I don't know if it was during the OJ trials or not, but
oh yeah, I know.
You saw this video, right? And so Chris Rock was like, how to be a brother and not get beat up by the police. By the police, right? And it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Stop lipping off.
Yeah. When they ask you for your license, give them your license.
It was so
when they
funny.
ask you to pull over, pull over.
And get some white friends. That will help. I don't know. I don't have any comment on any of that, but it was pretty funny. And really, what I got from it was, there's some truth in it. It's like, look, if you were in a situation where that lipping off to that guy is going to get you beat down, just freaking do it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you got something to hide, maybe you had something to hide.
Right, and I get it. I get the cycle, right, that we talk about. Some of these cops do stupid things.
They do.
So then we don't respect them. But going back to the military side of it, these guys and these gals, both of them, they're doing something that's at such a high level, right?
Yeah.
It's such some of the stories you told me about your brother, I just can't even fathom them.
Right.
I mean, one in particular he told me, it's just like gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
Gut-wrenching what he had to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gut-wrenching. I want to say it, but I'm not going to. But
that's everybody. I mean, that's
all
common.
of their
all of them, and his whole
stories.
squad, and and their whole squad. I mean, it's not uncommon.
It's not uncommon.
All the way back through all the wars.
So here they're doing these things. And then this is my point, is that over here in the United States, these guys are off in whatever country doing the thing. Here in the United States, Fox is telling us that that's where we need to be. And CNN is telling us that we're horrible for being there. And we're killing women and children. Fox is telling us we shouldn't be there. CNN,
and the BBC is telling us we don't know what we're doing because we're stupid Americans and we don't have the real truth.
Yeah. And so anyway, all of this noise is happening. Meanwhile, your brother is doing the things that he's doing.
Right.
And a lot of the stories you've told me, like, we need to do that. There's some bad people out there, right? And these guys are doing things.
Absolutely. I mean,
and they see it firsthand what these guys are doing.
That's right.
And they're making hard decisions, right?
That's right.
So my point is then they come back and we've been flooded with this disrespect concept.
Yes.
And then we don't respect them.
Right.
And I've seen videos. There was a video that was done where a guy went to like an army surplus store or something, and he bought a uniform, and then he wore it around pretending to be an officer. And 2 Navy SEALs saw him at a thing, and he was trying to get a military discount.
Oh, wow.
And they were like questioning him.
Yeah.
He was I think he was trying to buy a video game, honestly, and trying to get a discount or something. And they started asking him questions like, oh, well, where'd you serve? What this, what that? And I guess he had like some patches and certain things that were
ribbons
wrong.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, they were wrong.
Yeah.
And
that's from the Korean War, dude. And you're 17.
No, it was like, it was like something even worse than that. It was like, you're not supposed to wear that. Like he didn't have, and he wasn't wearing it properly.
Right.
And so anyway, they just kind of were really nice. And then once they knew that he was faking, and the guy lied the whole time. Once they knew he was faking,
did they beat the piss out of him?
No physical.
Okay.
But man, did they let him have it about like, don't you dare disrespect this uniform. You don't know what it, you're not allowed to put this on and act this way. You don't know what we gave up.
Yeah, you didn't earn it.
You didn't earn it.
Yeah,
this whole
that's right.
thing. And I just sat there and I was like, that aspect of this particular thing with vets is dissipating from our country.
Yeah.
Because it's so political now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting because really what it boils down to, when you have those attitudes and you do those things, you're only really hurting yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. If you're not, I don't even know how to say this. So if you're being disrespectful towards a police officer, how is it going to end for you?
Usually in a night.
It's not going to end well.
Yeah, and or shot.
Right or wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not a guy that should be a cop, because there are guys that should not be police officers, or they need
small man syndrome.
Exactly. But outside of that, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then let's take it to the veteran side of thing. If you are disrespectful and whatever, you could be literally adding to one more pile. It could have been the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Can you imagine
and they go
that?
home and blow their brains out.
Can you imagine that? Think about that.
Oh.
Think about that for a minute, everybody. Just imagine 22 vets are committing suicide every single day. You disrespect them in a obvious way, or maybe not, right? Like you just didn't go out of your, I don't know, something. And that's that last thing. Wrong or right, it doesn't matter. It's just like
youth. No blame on you, but still, it's
but just think
heavy,
about it.
Right? Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah.
It's just like youth, right? You sit there and you blame the youth and you don't give them a hug. You say, oh, that kid in the neighborhood is a piece of crap or whatever else. And then he goes and does a school shooting or kills himself, whatever. And it's like, what could I have done? Loved him, hugged him. Well, think about a vet. You see him at a Subway, you see him at a gas station, you see him, wherever else, and you go up to him or her and you just thank him.
Simple.
And let them know that you care.
And look, it embarrasses them. It does.
I'm sure
I've heard. I mean, my brother's telling me, he goes, I don't know what to say. What do you say? Thank you. Thank you for what? I don't, what do you, I just say you're welcome and move on, man. It's okay. You know, it's like, or thank you for saying that or whatever. I mean, but it's embarrassing to them, but at the same time, it's a level of respect that maybe they don't have for themselves at the current moment.
Exactly. And I think it's admirable that they're embarrassed about it, you know, because that means that I don't think any of them ever did it for like coming back and being like, look at me, I did this amazing thing.
Absolutely.
But it also shows a little bit of I wouldn't say shame, but just probably there's some shame in there. They did some things I'm sure they're not very happy with.
I'm sure.
But I think it also just is, like you said, that confidence in themselves, right? That it's okay. I mean, look, what's the difference between a child who's been, molested and a child who's been hit? And what's the difference between a soldier who's had to do horrible things and a soldier who's had to, we talked about this in nauseam about the brain.
Yeah.
It's all the same stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they need to know that they're not alone.
Right.
And it's one thing when it's like a bunch of vets get together and talk, right? Because they obviously feel they're not alone.
Absolutely.
But it's totally different when they walk out into the world.
It's completely different. And in fact, I've tried to have conversations with my brother, and he goes, well, you don't understand. You weren't there.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
I said, I know, but this came secondhand from a guy who has been through 3 tours and was there and does know. He goes, yeah, but you don't know.
You don't know.
And
that's out of love and caring.
And that's fine. And psychologists and the people that they have set up for them to talk to, they don't know either.
Yeah.
And so to get in that place where you've got somebody, and now he's trying to help other vets to come as far as he's come. And he's come miles and miles and miles because I was there, bro. That kind of thing. And to me, that's really what it takes. And really, they need a support system so that they can start bringing each other out, right? Don't never leave your brother behind, right? Just help bringing them out of this emotional, I don't know.
And I'm all for that. And I think that's a necessity, right? I mean, that's why I can speak with the youth and you have different aspects of that as well. But I think that it's also just as much responsibility for your brother now, who's kind of climbing out of this space to do the same thing. Like we've talked about, as a village, as a community, we need to come together and make a difference as well. And it's not big things, This isn't that we have to go and build them houses and do crazy stuff. I mean, there's programs for that, and I think that's great.
That's
but
good.
I'm talking on
Simple.
a daily basis, like daily things that you can do to give them respect in that moment and show them that you respect them, you care about them, and that they are a normal human being, because they don't feel normal.
They don't feel normal.
I mean, come on, these guys have done things that are crazy,
Right.
I mean,
they feel more at home over there than they do
over here, right? And it's
that's sad. That's really sad.
It's crazy, and people don't realize how simple little things can make a big difference.
That's true.
And you think about marriage, right? And women, and it's like women are so complicated. It's like, holy cow! One day it's like this, and the next day like this, and 1 hour they're like this, and the next hour like that. But then you sit them down, you have a conversation, and it's like, I just want you to tickle me. I just wanted you to hug me. I just wanted you to talk to me for 5 minutes. And you're like, that's it? We spent 4 hours and that was it? Like, you just, and it's like, but it's the simple things.
Yeah.
And that's just like throughout all of psychology, all of trauma, all of issues, all of not even trauma-based, but it's like, you and I hiking up the mountain, and it's like something simple happens on the mountain, I get upset or whatever, and it's like, Ryan, I just needed you to say this, or
Sure.
It happens every single day.
And that's what we talk about all the time, right? Just have a conversation. Just have a conversation. There's something going on. There's something, whatever is inside of you. I mean, whatever it is, whatever's happening, just have a conversation. Somebody, either the person that did it or somebody that is, that can help you along with it. I don't know. I mean, to me, that is really what it boils down to, is just being able to say, listen, here's where I'm at. And to have somebody that's willing to listen.
Yeah,
it's huge.
I think it's a massive side of it, and that's where real change starts to happen, right? That's where we really start to see like a whole. Your brother is going to be an amazing example if he keeps moving forward.
Yep.
To not just vets, but also to the community.
Absolutely.
And you look at Wounded Warriors, right?
Great foundation.
What? Just a few years ago, they weren't around.
Yep.
And now they're one of the largest and doing some amazing things.
Yeah.
And that's great. But I'm saying each individual person now listening to this is your chance to really step out of maybe your comfort zone a little bit and do something.
It's awkward to go talk to somebody you don't know.
Oh, of course it is.
And the veteran, you can if you know they're a veteran and you go to talk to them about it, you don't know what to say.
No.
You don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
You don't know how to be there. You don't know how to be with them. You don't have the right answers, but just
do
it.
Just do it and just be nice, Just be nice and just simple little things. I mean, maybe you're in a coffee shop and you see a vet or whatever. Buy his coffee. I mean, just something simple.
Sure.
It's nothing like, you don't have to sit on the edge of a cliff and almost, dude, this is like.
I got to be honest, man. I'm wetting my pants over here for you.
Ralph is, look at him. He's terrified. Don't
Whoa,
touch my
that
chair.
pulls me the other way. Wait.
Whatever. I don't want
do that.
Don't touch my chair. I've come to the conclusion. I just don't want you ever to touch me.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I'm a touch kind of guy, though.
I know, but this is my life right now. And,
it is. It is.
It's like
you're living. Hey, that could throw you off.
That could
there.
throw it off.
Oh
what do you want me to do with this, Levy? You want me to throw it down the mountain?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it's like
balance?
it's the balance. It's the weight.
There you go. Uh-oh. Oh, Lord, he just threw it down the thing. I think I'm going to puke. Oh, my God.
I'm not reaching for anything. We're done. Stop throwing rocks at me.
I wouldn't say that I'm terrified of heights, but I'm a little more nervous than your average person when it comes to the up in the air.
I'm okay with heights. But literally, I mean, you can't see this on camera. We'll shoot some B-roll of this.
Oh, my gosh.
But literally, it's like where my chair is. So this rock, I don't know what you can see and not see, but there's a rock right here where Ralph is. Where Ralph is very, he's very
Ralph's
brave.
clipped in.
He's a brave guy.
He's clipped in.
He's brave. He's not clipped. Anyway, it goes and there's another little thing and then it's gone. It's skydiving.
That's it. Actually, this would be a killer, base jump or what are those Birdman suit air jumps?
Oh,
right
it
here?
would be. Or one of those what do you call them? Where you grab them with your thing.
Oh yeah, hang gliders.
Hang glider, yeah. You could hang glide off this very well.
I don't think anybody does that anymore. I think everybody does the bird suits.
I don't know. They still do it. They do it in Hawaii. Anyway,
They do. My sister's best friend in high school got paralyzed in one in Hawaii.
Really?
Yeah. It's horrible. And then I ran into her later in the airport, like 10 years later. I was going back to Hawaii with my wife on our honeymoon or something. We may have been moving there at one time. But whatever it was, she was there. She was in a wheelchair. I didn't even know.
Wow.
It was like 10 years later.
Yeah.
So I'm not for hang gliding.
No. Well, this would be, I mean, we're almost parallel with that range over there. So that's cool. Anyway, I digress. But my point is, my point is that, this is an interesting topic because I know a lot of people talk about it and a lot of people say, give a vet a hug, show a vet.
Hug a vet, man.
Hug a vet.
I'm down.
All that stuff. But
I like it.
I think that culturally, the big cultural conversation here is we're missing something.
Yeah.
We're missing the fanfare. We're missing the sailors coming in.
Yeah.
We're missing the American flag.
That stuff is fun.
Yeah, and here's the point.
Where's the parades?
Well, we're destroying the American flag. Let's go to this. I'm going to go down this path.
All right,
let's go down this one.
I'm okay.
How was Old Glory originally, became Old Glory, right?
Right.
The song.
That's right.
I mean, bombs bursting in air.
Right.
I mean, it was made by one. I don't know the whole story, but it was a handmade deal.
Handmade. Betsy Ross.
And bombs bursting in air, the whole thing, and it became a symbol of freedom.
Yeah.
And now that symbol is massacred.
Gosh, it's almost like
for
a symbol
political.
of hate now.
Exactly. Whoa. Careful there, boy. Yeah, and by the way, just so we're clear, this is another cliff. So it's, you got a 2 out of 3 chance of dying.
Why we did this, I don't really know, but it just seemed like the right thing to do.
For the cinematic effect. We
Absolutely.
needed that in the middle.
I mean, look at that. Are you kidding me?
That's what.
Unbelievable.
It's right now. I'm sure
it's Leview's fault.
It's Leview's fault.
We're blaming Levieux.
No, it's actually God's fault. He built this amazing, gorgeous thing that we needed to film. We've got these 2 trees right behind us that are epically placed and the mountain in the middle. How could we not be here?
We could call this episode Between Two Trees.
Yeah, Between Two Trees. That's a great episode. Between 2 ferns, between 2 trees. Let's get Obama to come on this show right here.
Oh, so quite off topic. We'll get back on topic, but quite off topic. I think I figured women out.
Oh.
And so I would like
this
feedback.
episode, hold on. This episode may have gone from being a really good episode to viral because if you figured out women, man.
I figured them out, man. I got nailed. I think
3.
even women don't know
billion.
themselves. I got to be honest with you. But yeah, I think I've got women figured out. On not every level, but on a couple of them, okay? Here it goes. So, any ladies out there, please let me know if I'm right or wrong. Be gentle. I'm guessing, okay? But this is my theory.
I'm going to have your wife watch this.
Please do. Okay, so here's the thing. I think that women know exactly what they don't want. Men have no clue what they do. Men, on the other hand, we know what we do want. We have no clue what we don't want. And I think that's like one of the major differences. For example, ask your wife, what would you like to eat? Oh, I don't want Chinese. I don't want Italian. I don't really want Mexican food. Right? Right?
Oh, I hate that question. What do you want to eat?
Thank you. And then you ask a guy what you eat. I could go for a burger. We have the lovely assistant here.
By the way, the sun's getting a little crazy. Remember the last episode we would leave you was complaining.
He was
about
complaining
the
and
sun.
whining about the sun.
And we said, get an assistant.
We have an assistant.
So we got one, and she's got this handy dandy thing.
And it's
yeah, but you have to come into the shot so people can see you. So you gotta
there you go.
Yeah, see, look at that.
You gotta block the sun. No, go down with it right here. There we go.
There we go.
Sun blocked. There. Okay, so there's the personal assistant right there. But I got to be honest, I think they're having a fling.
I do too. I think it's been going on for 5 months. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so if you ask a guy, he'll go, I could do pizza.
Yeah.
I could go for a taco, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have no clue if So anyways, that's my solution.
But we're not going to make the taco or the pizza. Is that what you're saying? We
cooking.
would.
I would.
But,
I love cooking. I'm a good cook. But what I'm saying is that there's the major difference between a man and a woman.
Yeah. We want to be. Yeah.
Right.
All right. I'll go with you on that one.
I don't know.
That's cool. Okay, so back to the show at hand.
Off topic.
Okay, totally off topic. Back to the show at hand.
Sure.
Old Glory.
Old Glory.
So here's Old Glory, bombs bursting in air. We went through that. And it's a symbol of freedom, right?
Sure.
Now it's a symbol of political agenda,
okay.
right? I don't agree with Obama. I don't agree with this person. I don't agree with that.
Right.
Burn the flag.
Burn the flag.
I hate burning the flag.
Burn the flag. What? That used to be a ceremony because it touched the earth.
And it was a felony if you didn't burn it correctly,
That's
if you
right.
didn't dispose of it right.
That's right.
If you didn't fold the freaking thing right.
That's right.
I was a Boy Scout.
Yep.
And we spent 2 days learning how to fold a flag, right?
Yep.
If you didn't do those things right, you were in a situation of disrespect. Now, you can burn a flag because the Yankees are going to the World Series. And it's well, I hate the Yankees and blah, 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 burn the flag. Drives me nuts, right? And it's the respect.
That's horrible.
Something that simple.
That's horrible.
Now bleeds through the entire system that flag represents. The men and women who serve the country, the office of the presidency, the police force, the freedom, the taxes, all these different things.
I got to be honest. I don't like Obama. I don't like him at all. I think he's destroying our country. But that's my opinion, and I have the right to it.
Yeah.
But however,
and I didn't like some of the stuff Bush did. I
sure,
I'm with you.
But my point is that I love the office of the president. I trust the office of the president.
The camera people are laughing.
They're laughing at us.
Why?
What's going on?
Card full. So right now, you guys are going to watch some B-roll.
Pull the card out of the other one.
So we're done. That was it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
So just to wrap this show up, in case you haven't seen this, we're going to put a picture of Leaveview up for this. But here's the deal. So we drive a long way to get here, okay? We get out of the car, we're packed up, and we say, hey, Leaveview, where's the camera? And the camera guy left it in the office.
Oh.
So apparently we're done.
Apparently the show
Give
is
me an action
over.
step.
Action step, hug a vet. It's that simple.
I love it.
Say thank you, love a vet.
I love hug a vet. My action step is this. Go buy one of my brother's T-shirts and join Team Killy, okay? They're expensive, but it's killywool.com, KILIWOOL.com. Support a vet. He has a Kickstarter campaign for the 22 vets that commit suicide. We'll post it in the notes every day. But go get one of these shirts for yourselves. Represent Team Killy. And when people ask you about the shirt, you let them know about veterans, about heroes, and respecting our country.
Yeah. And just so we know, our iPhone, my handy-dandy
low-tech
iPhone.
So you're now watching this on the iPhone 6.
Yeah, you're on the iPhone 6 right now. So
Apple, send us some support dollars for this.
Yeah. So anyway, but how much time? What's the battery life on the phone? Maybe we can keep going.
We're at about 40 minutes.
We're 40 minutes. That's a pretty good show.
I think we did good.
I really wanted to talk about the Old Glory respect thing, though.
Okay, we'll wrap it up, man.
We'll wrap it up. All right, I will. So we got our action steps. Hug a vet. Support your brother's cause.
Yep.
The other side of this, just to think about, is, we talk about this all the time. Simple actions, right?
Yeah. We've
talked about that. Well, it's the same thing with this. What is the big problem in the world?
Okay.
Disrespecting Old Glory and disrespecting where she came from,
and
the concept of it and what it represented,
and
what it represents, now bleeds through the entire society, right? It's bleeding through and creating this ridiculous battle between political agendas that has no bearing on what's really going on,
right?
Because we don't ever get the right information.
It's right, and it's the stuff that affects us, like each individual person.
Yeah.
Not some governmental whatever.
Exactly. So, I mean, just think about it. Just when you see the flag, start respecting it and retrain youth around you to respect it, retrain yourself to respect it, and realize what that flag, where it came from and what it represents.
I love that.
And what it represented. And if it doesn't represent what you want anymore, then, like we always say, be the change you want to see, right? So start respecting it. Stop falling into the traps. Turn off your television. I mean, gosh, if we all stopped watching CNN and Fox, they'd have to change their programming.
That's
I mean,
right.
They're only doing it because we keep watching.
Then you'd think like I do.
Yeah. Which would be a little dangerous maybe. But no, you get my point. It's like, just if it doesn't mean to you what, about respect and love, and you think it's this and everybody's this, know the history.
Yeah.
Where the history of this country came from, and that flag and the men and women and the military and the police and all this stuff. There's history behind that.
There is history, big history.
And so if you don't believe in what's going on now, then respectfully pick up and make a change. Your police thing, right? You were talking about disrespecting an officer. There have been plethora of times in my life where I've had cops pull me over or do something that I'm like, no, but I obey what they're trying to tell me to do. I get the cop gone, I get the ticket, and then you know what I do? I hire a good attorney, or I go talk to the judge, or I talk to the prosecutor, and 9 out of 10 times I win. Because, and it's not winning, but it's, look, this is what was going on.
You were right.
Yeah.
He was wrong.
He was wrong.
That's right.
It's over. But if I disrespect him,
you can't do it at the time, or
you're
wrong.
What's going to happen? Understand, these cops protect each other.
That's
so
right.
You disrespect these guys, guess what's going to end up happening?
Yeah.
You're going to go to spend a little time in jail, and then you aren't going to look so good when you go to the judge.
That's right.
So think about it.
That's Ralph's action step.
Ralph,
there we
go.
Man, that was killer.
It was killer. I think you just touched my freaking iPhone and just screwed it up.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what we're gonna do with him. We have to water torture him when we get back to the office.
Something bad's about
Bamboo
to happen.
under the nails.
I'm Wes Chapman. Take action.
I'm Ryan Andrews. Be happy.
Thank you for listening to the Human Podcast. Is there a website? Yes, ahumanproject.com. See ya! Bye!
To learn more about A Human Project, go to ahumanproject.com.